Whoa, check it out. Look at the sweet new digs. Pat's Peoples, Pigskin Pals, Football Freaks, and Gridiron Geeks, we welcome you to the new season of Foxboro and Friends with your old pal Fitz alongside the Minister of Pat's Propaganda, Mike D, as we come to you live from our new home, the I Love Boston Sports Store, the flagship of this fabulous company located at the South Shore Plaza in beautiful Braintree, Massachusetts. Hey, everybody, make some noise for I Love Boston Sports in our new home. Woo. It's a slow lunch hour. What can you expect? Hey, wear your emotions on your sleeve. Visit them at ilovebostonsports.com and follow them across the socials at Boston Sports Co. Why? Because it's New England versus everyone. Because New England puts in work. And because they wrote us a check. And we love wearing their shirts to begin with. You've seen them on me before. You've seen them all around town on the players. And they offered us a chance to come to this fabulous fan cave. And this is where we're going to be coming to you guys on a weekly basis, well, in the off season, maybe every other week or so, or as news breaks,
and as it has been,
and as it's broken, because when your team wins another one of these, hey, what did Patricia say? I'll have second. No, make mine disco fries. No, he said it's heavy at the top.
Oh, right, and
that's a beautiful metaphor for everything Patriots. But
I feel weird touching it.
No, it's okay. Listen, it's not the AFC Championship. It's not the cup before when they take picks.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead. Replica, schmeplica. That thing is beautiful, isn't it?
It's got some weight to it, and I feel like I need cotton
heavy
gloves.
At the top.
Heavy at the top.
I know. What's the name of that guy who comes? What's the name? Like, he actually has his own social media account in the NHL. The guy that comes out with the white gloves and only handles.
It's his job to
It's literally his job is cup guy.
Yeah, I know. I don't know what his name is, but they have to have special guys for these kind of things. It's a big deal, you know.
I know. Imagine that. We have people that live in this world that have antiquated jobs like being trophy polishers and cup minders, and I just read on Twitter 5 minutes ago that now you can buy a GoPro for your wang. So, hey, it's a brave, beautiful new world. Speaking of which, it's pre-agency, as we like to call it, the legal tampering period. Let's get right down into it. You want to get at it from a Pats?
Legal tampering?
I know. What?
So
I know.
Stupid.
Just before we went live, minutes ago, Jeff Howe broke, amongst many other people that everyone follows on the tweet box, that Anthony Barr had decided to not sign with the Jets. Apparently getting lots of green couldn't make him stay in the green, so he's going back to the Vikings. And Jeff Howe had a great tweet. He said, looks like someone's going to throw a tamper tantrum.
Oh, God. Yeah, well, this period deserves all those bad jokes because it's so stupid. I think I must have forgot because yesterday I'm like, oh, today the tampering period starts. And it was all of a sudden Trent Brown is signing, Trey Flowers is signing. I'm like,
right.
What?
At 12:15 yesterday,
bang.
The majority of all the big free agents were gone, and free agency doesn't technically begin until tomorrow at 4 o'clock. What the hell?
Thanks a lot. it's silly.
So why did they do that? What's the idea behind it?
I guess the idea behind it was that, it'll give teams an opportunity to not cheat because it's going on anyway, but then it just moved it up, and now it's they're just announced immediately when people are signed. So just make it starts at this time. You can talk at this time. This is when free agency starts instead of these half-ass kind of sneak it in on you, which unfortunately it hasn't been a great period. We got the Michael Bennett thing. Where do we start?
Yeah, all right. So let's be pro Patriots and let's take a look at what the Pats have done. Let's look at the additions to the Patriots so far before we start lamenting the departures and we go through the 7 stages of Patriot fan free agency grief. So last Friday, we find out that the Patriots had, I think, made a great move. Wow, look at our fancy spaces. You look at it on the Facebook Live. Good. Thank you guys. Thank you guys for all the nice comments and the questions. We're going to get to them.
This isn't Fitzy's basement.
I know, we're out of the Fitzy.
But you're in your backyard still. This is where young Fitzy
a South Shore kid.
Stalked the mall of South Shore Plaza.
25 years ago, when my mother was working in Filene's as a fragrance specialist, and I was making my way through college, stocking towels, fluffing handbags. That's not a term for anything, and then spritzing old ladies with Coco Chanel No. 5. Did I think I'd be across the hall doing something like this? No, genius. All right, so last Friday we find out the Patriots trade. The rights to John Jastrzemski, 3 Dorito dinks, and tickets to the Thursday night football game of their choice, and for a solid pass rusher in Michael Bennett. So what do they do? They give up a 5th to Philadelphia, and they get back a 7th and Michael Bennett.
Yeah.
And everyone's immediate reaction was, "Oh, Trey Flowers gone." And you may have been right.
You might have been right.
And you
like,
might have been
it doesn't
right.
mean it
But it kind of meant.
It kind of did.
No, I think it was a great move because, one, whatever you may think about him, and I'm going to stay inside the locker room. Now we can trot the flag debate out. There's great leadership in the locker room. I don't think he's going to be an issue. And I know he's not exactly everyone's favorite human being. But again, it's my Tom Cruise principle. I don't root for Tom Cruise as a human being. He makes fun movies. When I see these guys, as long as you're actually not a complete piece of garbage off the field, just do your job and we'll all have a Merry Christmas. So he had 17 and a half sacks over the last 2 seasons. Had 9 last year, which actually would have led the Patriots. I thought that was rock solid Trey Flowers departure insurance. And he may be able to positively influence insert name of whoever they're going to draft here.
Sure.
To replace Trey Flowers.
Yeah, I mean it's they've been after him for a while, right. and they talked to Michael Bennett and he's like, they keep trying to get me and they finally figured it out. Belichick's always like enamored with these like football superstar kind of guy. I mean, I was going back through it yesterday when I was writing about it, thinking about all the guys that he's taken a swing on that right. are at the end of the line, but like you throw in like Reggie Wayne, John Lynch. Randy Moss, obviously, his career was headed on a whole different trajectory before they kind of saved him, among others. Albert Hainsworth is another one. And it runs the gamut of off-the-field kind of issues and that kind of thing, from, model citizens to, guys who, like Hainsworth, who had a checker pass. So right. It doesn't matter. He thinks he can get something out of you at the end. He's going to try. And, they'll find a way, whether he's in that kind of Adrian Claiborne pass rusher role, now that Flowers is gone, do they maybe keep Claiborne? I don't know. I think that's still a question that has to be answered based on how things are kind of shaken out down the road.
And people pointed out that Michael Bennett doesn't necessarily play the exact same position that Trey Flowers did. That he's a bit more of just a pure edge rusher, whereas Trey Flowers can kind of move all over the defensive line.
Yeah, I think Seattle used him inside a little bit too. In the Super Bowl, that was, I think, one of the famous quotes. The only guy that's given us a problem was him. Right. So he can do a bunch of things. I mean, you need those guys for the third down. And we've seen it over the last couple of years. Third down, pass situation, they bring in a whole new set of guys. It's Adam Butler. It's last year it was Claiborne in specific spots. So they'll find a use for him. I just think you got to look at the younger defensive ends and kind of hope that they step up and replace those snaps, because Trey Flowers was
right.
a 3-down linebacker or 3-down defensive end, and I don't think Bennett is that anymore. So
maybe
there's
not
still snaps to pick up.
I'd also like to point out that it was just at this particular establishment down here at I Love Boston Sports a couple weeks ago.
Reverse cam.
There we go. Yes, look at this fabulous establishment. Look at all these shirts, the swag, the fan banners, and all sorts of paraphernalia you can come down and get. But it was actually just at this store a couple weeks ago where I came down here and I met Dietrich Wise Jr. and Derek Rivers. And let me tell you, I had a chance to also meet Trey Flowers. I know he used to actually do appearances and work with these guys, and everyone had nothing but incredible, glowing things to say about him, from the media that covered him to the teammates who played alongside him, us fans who rooted for him, and people who actually got a chance to meet him, take pictures, get autographs, etc. They all said the same thing. Great work ethic, super humble. Congratulations, you got paid.
Yeah, congratulations.
That's great. I'm going to tell you what, Dietrich Wise Jr. and Derek Rivers are giant human beings of a comparable size. I have shaken hands with a lot of giant X-Men professional athlete types. I've never shaken a hand bigger than Derek Rivers. My God. I mean, that kid is and he's also super cool, super nice, and one of those people who just turns on a switch when he goes on the field and is an absolute animal, comes off.
I had a chance to ask Dietrich Wise a question last year. Actually, we got to interview him a little bit when they let the blogger types come in for one day only to access.
Oh,
and
they
trot over like, Dietrich Wise, you can talk to him. But he was great.
Nice
and
guy.
like you said, I know, real media.
Right.
Capital J. But no, he was a great guy. And I mean, I think Rivers is such an interesting guy now because coming out of Youngstown State, you knew he was gonna have to make a leap. Then he tears his ACL,
misses a whole season,
and admittedly, some good, some bad last year. Kind of spot duty. But they gave all those guys a chance. I was working this morning on this one. Ufamba Kamalu
means no worries for the rest of your days.
But they threw him in there, and and the other guy that they were like obsessed with was Keontae Davis, who we couldn't quite figure out. I remember doing the show with you, and we were like chatting about, why do they keep playing this guy? And then all of a sudden, it was like week 4. you never saw him again. But they see something in these guys, and I know that physically, or and Rivers had a great get off in college. So it's what they always do. They kind of throw a bunch of it at the wall and try to figure out how to replace that.
And one thing the Pats love to do also too is not only there are very few guys who are just going to get immediately drafted, then thrown straight onto the field and become an integral starter in the complex defense and obviously the read and react Patriots offense. So that makes this makes sense, or we should at least be used to the idea that guys are going to they're going to spend as much time on the sidelines, if not maybe even on the IR, if you will, Belichick's version of getting redshirted, and put this in your pipe and smoke it for later. As we've said before in the show, and we've said on the tweet box, and a few other quality talking heads have pointed out, the Patriots they basically have a draft class coming in. Juwan Bentley played 2.25 games last year. The guy looked great. He's going to be a stud. Christian Sam, the speed linebacker they took in the 5th round. Braxton Berrios, the handsome Dola replacement.
Honey Nut Berrios, yeah.
Honey Nut Berrios. Duke Dawson, who basically was a healthy scratch the second half of the season, learning under Jonathan Joseph Isaiah
and J.C.
Jackson. And for the win.
Might be
who now's got his gig.
Tackle. I know.
Oh, watch out though, my man. Adrian might be starting for a couple games until
they got to re-sign him. He's a free agent.
They got to sign him. That's right. Let's sign Adrian. Let's do this. Come on. But yeah, I think the Pats will be fine. Look, no one is going to say that losing Trey Flowers is a good thing. I mean, the guy was tremendous. The guy was phenomenal. He did everything on the field. Everything from the minute he just tore through the Green Bay Packers line in preseason 2015.
I got a good gif of that.
That was awesome.
I wish I could throw it up right now.
Just crushed Aaron Rodgers.
I do have a picture, though, of him. So, yeah,
Ben himself got injured, got redshirted for 2015. That's about as productive and Patriot-like as you can have for 3 seasons of football.
3 Super Bowls, and 2 of them making huge plays, and he was a beast.
3 friggin' straight Super Bowls for the guy.
I think
2 wins.
He's like the ultimate example, I feel like, of just how unfortunate it is, living by the Patriot way, where these guys, this is everything you would ask of him. He came in, he was an important position. He was a model citizen. He's everybody talks about what a hard worker he is. So it's like, if you don't pay those guys, who do you pay? It's hard, and you get it, and you can't argue with the success that it's had. But it's at the same time,
a $17 million salary. I hate to say it, when you got to when you got to re-up your quarterback, especially so you can free up more cap space. And Brady is definitely due a quality deal. That's going to make you more top heavy than you want to be when the Patriots have consistently proven that building a strong middle class is unlike the hokey pokey, that's what it's all about. So they got to go about their business, and they're going to wait. Let all the top feeders, let all the big money guys go. Sadly, this is the wrong year for Trey Flowers to be in such high demand. And the Detroitriots, as we call them now. Is that what do we call them now?
Speaking of which,
is it Foxboro Midwest, or is it new logo just released by a good follow on the IG and the tweet box at Ghetto Gronk. This is the Lions now with their signing of Dola, which broke the hearts of many that he didn't make his return.
Oh,
Dola.
I got one of him too.
Justin Coleman made his way from Seattle now to Detroit, and of course Trey Flowers and more. The Detroitriots, the Detroit Lions, Foxboro Midwest, Foxboro by the Lake. What do we call it?
It happens. I mean, I don't know yet. I haven't decided.
Yeah.
I've meditated on that one. No, that's just, I get so annoyed though. It's like every time the coaching staff and everybody leaves, it's like Kansas City, Houston, and not only do they come and pluck the players, but they also target all like the draft picks that you like too, because you're like, oh, this guy's totally a Patriots kind of guy, and then they grab them, like Tennessee doing the same thing, with
like last year
Logan
when they grabbed
and Butler, and they get raided, and they've gotten raided a lot.
Oh, and speaking of which, Tennessee just swooped in and signed the wide receiver that we all thought the Patriots. Again, it's the tampering period. So update you real quick on a couple other signings. No official news on Le'Veon Bell yet. Apparently he's chosen the team, but we don't know which one it is. Anthony Barr, like we said earlier, said, hell no, I'm not playing for the Jets, and went back to the Vikings. Adam Humphries, slot receiver who played in Tampa Bay, decided to go to the Titans on a 4-year, $36 million deal. Yeah. Jamison Crowder went from the Redskins to the Jets.
He's rattling these off. Look at this guy.
I've been following my timeline, man. I've been doing my job. Any other Patriots targets that may have gone somewhere else?
He lost Dwayne Allen.
Dwayne Allen made his way down to Miami.
But it's
I get it.
It's significant. Yeah,
listen, he didn't catch a lot of passes, but that was a hell of a that was another quality offensive lineman.
Yeah.
Sony Michel didn't open those holes for himself.
Oh yeah, I mean, his second tight end, he was great, and
Yep.
I mean, and Ryan Izzo, I think, is a second-year guy, hurt, but last year in camp he looked real good. I mean,
Yep.
so they have some depth, and I mean, I don't know about you, but
We love that name too, Izzo. It works, Izzo.
I'm starting to feel like Gronk might come back. Like,
Yeah.
there's these reports that, like, he's around the stadium more. It's not like every week. Remember last offseason, every week we get like a new story where it's like, oh, by the way, Alex Guerrero one time like let the air out of Bill Belichick's tires, and he's still mad about it. And Rob Gronkowski hates him now. Like every week you got some random.
Alex Guerrero was
like,
at a party at Linda Holiday's house and took an apple decker.
Wait, can I make a quick? I haven't brought this up with you, and I keep meaning to. But in the Super Bowl, after Brady won the Super Bowl, right, and everyone's mobbing him, and the reporter, I think we talked about the reporter's trying to get him, but there's just such a great shot of Alex Guerrero, like just like hovering in the background with just this huge, kind of creepy grin on his face.
Like I did this. I did this.
It was so.
You can thank me
freaking
later.
out.
I did this.
I'm like, what's Alex Guerrero doing? And like you could tell he just wanted to get to Tom to like congratulate him, but there were so many people. I don't know. It was just a moment where I'm like,
the Brady swarm, the Brady demand. I gotta tell you, one of the things, I don't know if I mentioned this in the post Super Bowl send off Foxboro and Friends Spectacular, but when I was standing on the stage at the send off, and Brady throws the mic at Zolak, and then they all come around and they like we're still here. Throws the mic, and they have their big man scrum on stage and they're high fiving. The one thing I noticed, Brady is razor thin.
Yeah,
he's like almost like refugee thin.
Yeah,
and like you've seen the pictures that
Gumby.
everyone's talking about of
Gumby.
a Patriot. Yeah, he's very Gumby like. It's exactly it. He's a giant rubber band. He's a giant gummy.
Yeah.
He's exactly.
He gets hit and he's just like, you got me that time.
It's like when you see it in slow mo and you watch like the skin and the muscle just slowly like ripple. That's what Brady does. Brady just like Gumby ripples the whole time.
Feel my arm and like, wow, it's
so soft. Like, are there bones in there? Like when they took the bones out of Wolverine before they put the adamantium in or something. Like it's so strange.
Doing
it's
the pencil
so
trick,
surreal. You're like, how the
that.
hell? Like, you're Tom Brady. He's super thin. But speaking of, as all the free agency moves get made, Trent Brown and his giant body of work.
Yeah.
Trent Brown last year came on like a house of fire. Trent Brown blocked two things: players and the sun. Trent Brown a year ago. Who's Trent Brown?
Yeah.
Now
And
this week. Who's Trent Brown?
Too.
Yeah, they got a third, but now they get a compensatory pick and they got a fifth back.
How do you,
Who's Trent Brown? Highest paid offensive lineman in history. That's who.
How do you feel about Trent Brown, highest paid offensive lineman in history, playing for the Raiders? Like, how do you think that works out?
For the Raiders.
I mean, that seems like a
Don't just say the Raiders.
the Raiders. I mean, that seems like a.
How do I feel for him
seems
playing
like
there?
a potential and Trent Brown got cut today.
Potential.
Cap casualty.
I saw Mike
next
Giardi
year.
for the NFL Network, and like one of many quality inside Foxboro, one Patriot Place trusted Bella sources being like, yeah, this one's not going to go well for them because it was a contract season.
Yeah.
He's playing for the Pats. You got the best offensive line coach in football. And as I heard yesterday as well, people sleep on this too, and it's like, wow, Brady's left tackle sure get paid. They're awesome. The ball's out of his hand in like 0.3 seconds.
Yeah.
All you got to do is just get one decent push on those guys. But when Eli's back there for 9 seconds trying to figure out what the hell to do with himself because no one can get open and they can't figure out whose scheme they're running,
no
Nate
matter.
Solder eventually is going to be like, I can't block everyone for like 9. Sorry, I can't buy you 8 seconds. Have you seen how fast and muscular these?
I thought Trent Brown brought such like a kind of a new element of physicality too on that left side. I mean, nothing against Solder,
He had a
but
hell of a
it was just a
postseason.
different, it was just a different kind of feel on that left side, and it's going to be a different feel probably with Wynn, who's a smaller guy, but same thing with Shaq Mason, smaller guy.
Smaller, he's
But
still
they're gonna be
6'3",
athletic.
325 pounds.
That's tiny, Nick. That is way
Right. Trent, I mean, I had a chance to, when I at the end of the parade, I hopped off the boat and I saw two guys standing talking to each other. And I was like, wait a second, I think I know who those guys are. Go over and it was Shaq. I got a picture of it on my IG at FitzyGFY if you want to see it. And it was Shaq Mason and Trent Brown. And I was like, holy shit, that's 40% of the Patriots' offensive line. You guys are standing there hanging out next. So Shaq
Size
Mason
disparity? Like, what's
is
it
like,
like?
I'm almost 6'2", and I was like, oh hey man, but he's
Trent
just
Brown picked you up, like-
and then I was like, hi, what's up, Trent? How you doing, man?
It's like the Rancor, like.
But he's got a baby face.
Yeah, oh yeah.
He looks
yeah,
like he's
yeah.
12.
Right.
Seriously, like he's so young and so fresh and so giant.
Good for
my
Trent.
God, but good for him. He got
Good for
paid.
him. Came in
I don't know what
here.
the hell the Raiders are doing, but I don't think anyone does.
gonna
At
be-
least John Gruden stopped trying to collect a 2013 fantasy football team. Oh, and how about let's talk about this with the comings and goings in and out of Foxboro. Can you believe rap sheets from Ian Rappaport, formerly of the Herald, the big main inside
Yeah.
source at the NFL Network, said,
Dumb rap sheet.
yeah, the rap sheet said the Pats offered a 2 and a 4 for Antonio Brown,
I
and the
know.
Steelers were like, bitch, please.
I can't buy it anymore because every single time there's a free agent, it's like, who aren't the Patriots? And
Right.
You always hear about, well, the Patriots weren't, and that's like
They're running everyone, and then you see the meme of them spotted at Logan.
Oh yeah, they were in on Humphreys, and even Jeff Howe this morning was like, I heard they weren't at all interested in Humphreys, but maybe something happened later. But as far as I knew, not so. There's always those reports. I don't know. I feel like agents, all they have to do is be like, the Patriots are interested, and every team is like, what? Their ears perk up. So I don't ever know
Bingo.
how much of that is real.
Dude, you nailed it. The smartest thing they can do,
it.
the agent has to say, oh, I heard the Pats are in on, or like Belichick was sniffing
and
around.
Everybody's like, well, we check in. What's the deal? If they like them, get in on that.
Yeah, they just want to get a little bit of that action.
Right.
Someone else can be like, oh, quick, double the offer. What did I say? How do we get to be more like the, I think it's inside every office as pre-agency and the tamper tantrum period begins and everything else. It's so stupid, but it's so great.
We got to tamper our expectations.
Oh no, tamper down. Wow. Oh, you know where the hotbed of all this is? Tampa Bay. Oh.
Well, you almost missed the show today because your kid had a temperature.
Check the temperature in this room. Mike is hot. Oh, wow, that was good.
It's the new location.
Solid run.
We're like
it is
pros
good.
here.
We're feeling free, man. Are you kidding me? I'm sitting on like this gorgeous
leather
Jordan's furniture,
Oh
leather
my God.
couch. We got lights. We got 4 cameras.
It's like
we got
Wayne's World
alternate
here.
angles.
We're
We got
Wayne's World. It
professional
really
graphics.
is. I know.
I'm having fun. I'm having fun.
It's like we're in Fitzy's basement, but this isn't Fitzy's basement.
Right. Let's get to a couple.
yeah.
So the
Can
whole
we
thing.
do-
The whole
yeah.
thing. What was it again? Yeah. Do you think the Pats really would have been out? Like, do you think they were in on Antonio Brown at all?
No.
I just don't see them spending $17 million bucks on a wide receiver. That's why I don't see the OBJ thing happening.
With the blonde mustache? Like, I
Right?
just feel like he's...
Looking like a villain in a Stallone movie.
I mean, if you listen to what they've told you and done over the last 20 years, it's about the team, not collecting talent. And you know what I mean? I know they need a receiver, but...
Antonio Brown looks like Provincetown Blade. With that mustache and that hair. That'll probably get us kicked. Well, this has been our last show from I Love Boston Sports.
That hit me right where I mean, having been to Provincetown many times, I'm like, you nailed it. You nailed it right there. That's the guy you're walking down the street. You're like,
I swear to God, I wasn't chambering
No,
that one.
no.
That just came to me out of the blue. I was like, who does he look like?
But see, the only reason I can't rule it out is I go back to what I said last, is that he's always got this weird obsession with like the super football freaks. So you're like, maybe he would be like that and just be like, well, if you can't pick it up, we're just gonna cut your ass. It's like one of those. But they couldn't afford to pay him anyway. Like,
well, the cap would have been busted. That's it. They wouldn't have been able to even sign any of the draft
whole
guys.
Salary cap to get Antonio
Especially
Brown.
when you want defensive lineman depth, and they have to pick up Michael Bennett's $7 million a year salary.
I mean, look where he's going to end up. I mean, you know what I mean?
You got to get a young safety. Like, that's one thing they don't have. I know we got 3 great starting safeties.
No. I know. Well, that's the time. TikTok.
There's depth across. They haven't re-signed. We still have a place kicker. Although if Gostkowski's going to walk for $5 million somewhere else this season,
and then all of a sudden you just draft a rookie, and here we go. That's
we'll see.
A little hairy.
Look, he's been great.
He has, but it's always that 06. I mean, Vinatieri's gone on to play 13 more years after the Patriots
6, 7,
let him
8,
go.
9,
I mean, he's
10,
been a
11,
Colt
12,
longer
13,
than he's,
14,
they just.
This is his 14th friggin' year coming up.
I mean, he's
kicking
been
for Indianapolis,
and he's dead to me as far as I won't.
No,
even
don't you dare.
No. Listen to what I'm saying.
Don't.
As a Colt, he's dead. It's like when he retires, all of a sudden they'd be like, "Where's Adam Vinatieri been all this time?" Like, it's going to be completely forgotten that he spent actually a greater portion of his career in Indianapolis.
All right. So let's get to the questions. We got hundreds of them. Thank you guys for sticking around. If you put your question in, but you couldn't stick around too long because we're broadcasting during work hours, we get it. You can always rewatch this on the Facebook. We'll post it to the Fitzy YouTube channel and more. So here we go. All right. Questions are coming in fast and furious. Here we go. Bo Petalama wants to know, would you consider them maybe trading for AJ Green? I heard that the Bengals are going to keep him through the rebuild, and they want him to go cradle to grave.
I mean, I think that's the Josh Gordon. That's the Josh Gordon X role that they're kind of hoping in there. Somehow it works out and be able to squeeze a full season out of Josh Gordon. I can't count on him. but you have to like replace him now.
Right.
Like you have to have a guy in place, and I don't love Philip Dorsett, but somebody like Philip Dorsett.
Hey, Dorsett did a pretty good job last season.
But everybody got so excited. It's like, see, I told you about Philip Dorsett, and then you look at the stat, like he had 2 catches for 18 yards. Like what?
Yeah, but he caught a touchdown in 2 straight games.
No, I mean, yeah,
against the Chargers, and then that big one at the end of the first half against the Chefs.
He wasn't critical. You know what I mean? Like he could step in and do an okay job, and he chipped in with a couple catches, but he's replaceable. You know what I mean? I feel like that's average receiver comes in and does that.
Yeah, but if you're going to find someone else like that, maybe you could just like have drunken sailor money like the Colts and throw $13 million for a single season at Devin Funchess, thinking you're getting Alshon Jeffrey 2.0.
Funchess, yeah,
dude,
I know.
That's silly ass money.
That was silly. I mean, in such a hard position too. But I mean, you know, if you got Andrew Luck and it's the same, I'm sure Colts fans are getting the same thing we've been getting. Where you're wasting his window. You can't. Right. You gotta. And I mean, I don't think the Patriots get enough credit for all. You know, they tried so much at receiver last year, and it just didn't work out. You know, like they really tried.
Remember the Eric Decker phase? Wasn't that cute?
Decker, but I mean Kenny Britt. I mean, you know, you throw Patterson in that group. You know,
Deion Branch, Troy Brown. They brought Stanley Morgan back.
They're just trying to get anybody they can. But you know, they're trying. It's not like they're just sitting pat and being like, "We love Philip Dorsett." You know, I mean, he's
sitting
fine.
pat.
Oh yes. So you know, I think it's just gonna be fascinating to see what happens at receiver. But I don't want to get ahead of myself here.
Let's see who we got. All right, Robert Louis Steele IV comes from a fine.
Wow.
I wonder what his family does, or is it what industry they're in. I'm Robert Louis Steele IV.
Yeah, I remember Robert.
Great
Louis.
author.
I know.
Robert Louis Steele Jr. Like
yeah.
my father, my father's father.
Before
we worked in a
him.
rock hard industry. He wants to know if the Patriots would be interested in somebody like John Brown. Hate to break it to you, Robert Louis Steele IV. John Brown just signed one of the Speedy Browns from the good old days out in Arizona. He just signed a 3-year, $29 million deal to go up to Buffalo and get overthrown by 10 yards by Josh Allen. So that happened. Let's see, who else?
Did you see the meme of Antonio Brown goes to the Bills, and then they had a picture of Josh Allen, like, and he runs a 3-yard out on like a 3rd and 3, and it's like just a picture of Josh Allen getting ready to
cocking his arm back to sail one.
Just getting ready to fucking rifle.
All right, who else we got? Chris Perkins. What do we think about the Patriots putting a restricted tender on Gordon? Also, is it possible Justin Houston could be a fit?
I've heard that. I don't know. I'm of the mind that at this point, I'd love to get those like John Simon, middle range kind of guys, and then
Joel Simon. He worked out.
He did. He was solid.
Got a couple sacks, got a couple pressures. Yeah, got him for a song.
Yeah,
got him for nickels and dimes.
And he's always been,
and played good special teams.
He's out there, you know, in pass rush situations, and you can never have too many guys like that. So, you know, it's like stuff like that. Like, I mean, Justin Houston, yeah, it kind of makes sense, I guess, but he's more. I don't know. I just don't think he really fits with Hightower and you know there right now. Little too similar.
Okay, let's see who else. Frank Reardon wants to know what about Golden Tate guys? How much do you think it's going to cost? He didn't sign day one, so maybe he's waiting for his market to come together.
Yeah. I mean, it's going to be his choice. I mean, his fit is obvious. It's always been obvious with the Patriots, and you know what I mean. That's the kind of guy that you could see them going. So I mean, he not having made a move during tampering period, maybe he'll pop up. You know, or he's at least he's not jumping at some huge money deal like a lot of these guys are.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah,
because he's been around a little bit. It's not, you know what I mean.
But if the Pats could find a way, if they worked out the deal with Brady, there was some it's the tamper period, so you can contact him and just say like, don't go. Hey, tampering is just being like, hey, you know,
little tamper here.
Yeah, hey, just stay put. We're figuring out Brady's contract so we can free up $15 more in cap room,
right?
So we can give you 3 for $27 or something like that.
Sure. And
he's only been in a handful of playoff games. He does have 1 Super Bowl and a black eye that he got from Percy Harvin punching him in the face before the Super Bowl. So.
I know, is that a bad sign?
Matching rings, the black ring and a championship ring. I'm in Patriots withdrawal. Mary Weiss Lemieux, thank you for being a super fan, number 1, and number 2, us as well, which is exactly why we're here today at I Love Boston Sports at the South Shore Plaza in beautiful Braintree, Mass. Okay, now we've got our first panic comment. Aaron Fiaclo. Nice. I guess, wow, what a Fiaclo this is turning into, huh? Says the Patriots losing Trey Flowers and Trent Brown and not getting Amendola. Does this really affect the Pats?
I mean, at this point, no. I mean,
right.
Does it?
No.
You know what I mean? They got the best coach.
Just look at how worried Bill Belichick is. Show him how worried Belichick is.
Did you say what are these?
Exactly.
Looks
I
like-
saw this picture of shirtless Belichick. This was the immediate comp that came to mind. And tell me you weren't thinking the same thing. He's on vacation at a $3,000 a night hotel in Barbados with Linda Holiday, just living the life, man.
Belichick's got that barrel chest, though. You know, like he's
He
really
does.
holding it together.
He looks
well.
pretty stout.
I mean, you always see him like he'll be like with a weight vest on a treadmill,
It's a hot
and a
jacket.
highlighter, and
Right.
you know what I mean. Like he's like just so he's just staying in shape.
God bless
He
him,
looks
man.
good.
What's up, guys? What's up, Len Lander? Good to hear from you as well, buddy. Greetings from Galway, Ireland, says John Koss. Who do you think the Patriots' next target will be in free agency? Well, Slanche to you, friend. God, that picture just cracks me up every time. It came up too late on it. The name's Belichick. Bill Belichick. Who could you see right now as some potential targets? Like, what are some... I guess we could see if there are going to be any other departures, but for the time being, what do you see as an immediate position of need that they will address in free agency?
Yeah, I mean, I think you got to look at defensive tackle. I mean, that's the big question mark.
Right in the middle, the meat in the middle, right?
Yeah, the meat in the middle.
Can't spell team without me.
Yeah, exactly. And I still wouldn't. I would still hold out some hope that maybe Malcolm Brown, might resign. I don't really, Danny Shelton, whatever. But Henry Anderson's a guy we talked about from the Jets. That could make a lot of sense. Just has that kind of body type, where they take these old 3-4 defensive ends who are,
Right.
a little bit longer and they stick them inside. They've had some success with that. And then the other guy that I like is the guy from Kansas City. We're live on the air and I'm totally blanking right now, but up front.
Not Justin Houston, right?
No, not Justin
Because
Houston.
he got released from KC because he was going to cost $15 million, and you saw what they did with that money. They turned around and they got the Honey Badger.
Yeah.
3 for 42 for safeties. 14 million.
Alan, what's his face?
Not Alan Branch.
No.
Alan
I think there's another.
Faneca, the retired offensive lineman.
We're professional.
Alan Vick. Alan.
It'll come to
Alan
you when we're
Funt.
up there, but I think that's a position that they have to target. And along wide receiver, get some of those lower level guys and throw some stuff at the wall.
Okay, Matthew Dalton, the ghost of Clay Matthews,
No,
reclamation project,
I
like
don't
Chris
know.
Long 2.0.
I don't know.
Would he be willing to come in on small money? He's got a ring,
Exactly. Well, that's the question.
got
That's
a ring and
always
he's
the
got
great
a-
question,
he's got a-
right?
truck
Yeah.
full of cash.
I'm just at a feeling now where I just want to go youth movement. I want to take the guys from last year. I want to take a bunch of the draft picks this year and kind of like they had. I mean, they had to rebuild the defense once already, and it feels like it's kind of coming again. So
Yeah.
I think I just would love to see the opportunities kind of going to some younger guys at certain spots, especially while you have a veteran secondary in place. But I don't want to go out and grab guys like Justin Houston and
What are you
just
gonna
like
do?
these
What are you gonna
retreads
do?
and
Two for 24 for Justin. It's a lot of
it's
money.
like,
I know they threw decent money at Claiborne last year. Do you cut a Claiborne and then use his money because they really won't have a lot of
right.
dead money to go get a better veteran like that, like a
Right.
Bennett +1?
Right, potentially.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's all on the table. But it's always in motion. It's going to be emotion into the
I
season.
got bad news for you, Deuce. We're gonna have to actually block our. We're gonna have to block our. Hey, it's a live store, folks. Things are gonna happen. All right, people getting crazy back here. As long as the security alarm doesn't go off. I haven't stolen anything, I promise. We're at a sponsor. I promise you, we didn't just set up a Facebook Live randomly at a store at the plaza.
We're yelling at
We're going to have to
employees
block.
here.
Zach Herbert, he writes, what do you think about a guy like Blake Bortles as a backup for the next few years?
I'm fine with it. I'll take anybody. I'll take
I joke, Zach.
anybody.
No, but what are the biggest FU? Seriously, the biggest FU
Beating you up with your
to
own
the rest
hand.
of the league
Beating
would
you
be
up.
Belichick signing Blake Bortles and then winning an important game with Bortles. Because Nick Foles just got silly money.
Why are you hitting yourself? I mean, it's the ultimate Big Brother thing, right? It's like, oh, you don't want that? I'm going to take it and beat you up with it.
Like, little did we realize also too. I mean, like insane money. You got $88 million for Nick Foles, which is like you can go back in time with that kind of money. That's insane money, and they just basically bid against themselves as well. And they had to depart with defensive talent, like Malik Jackson
Yeah.
left. He went to the Eagles.
Quarterback's everything, man.
I know, but little did we realize how much they love Hoyer until they said after the Super Bowl how good he is. Like they don't want to ever see him take the field. He's so good at emulating the style of other quarterbacks.
Yeah.
That's what he is. He's not a great starter on his own, but his mimic abilities are like top notch.
It's like you could pretend to be other people, really.
Right.
He's a good actor.
We don't like real you. We like when you pretend to be other people.
Oh, wait. Do Nick Foles again. Do Nick Foles. Yeah.
Matthew Dalton says, I don't know if you guys know, but Bob Kraft knows a little something about the comings and goings. All right.
Oh.
All right.
Do we
All
jump
right.
in on
Clean it
this?
up in IL Foxboro, pal.
Oh,
I know. It is pretty hilarious, though, Deuce, that they schedule Robert Kraft's hearing for March 28th.
What's that?
328.
Oh God, is it really? I mean, oh my God, no.
You can't, from the Department of, you can't make it up. You can't make it up.
We got to do like a massage parlor version of the scoreboard tee. I mean,
right. A lot of Golden Tate questions.
Yeah, I'd take him. I mean, he certainly fits.
Okay, with all, let's see, someone has a question about, with all these other guys. Oh, wow. Zach Herbert also points out, Zach, you're not getting blocked. We love you. Thank you for joining us. I'm kidding. We don't block anybody. Matter of fact, tell your friends. Share this. Let's help build the Foxboro and Friends community. I know it's the off season, but there is no off season when you're a dedicated Foxboro fanimal like us. Bill liked Bortles coming out of South Florida.
Yeah, I saw that too. And I mean, someone reported, I mean, and again, this is the same thing we were just talking about where, if Bortles had been there, they would have taken him instead of Jimmy Garoppolo. Like, but who knows? Who knows? It's always, speculation. But I'll take anybody. Anybody you can get in and put under Brady for a couple of years. I don't care. I mean, what does it matter? Third quarterback, like we've had guys coming through for 20 years now. It doesn't really, anybody who wants to take a shot, you never know who's going to click. And I would prefer not to put Hoyer in if something happened to Brady and it was over in an instant.
No, don't say that.
Sorry, but at this point.
I can't handle that. Thomas Buchanan Fitz, I'm going to drink an ice cold brewski in your honor. Hey, brew your job, my man. Do so.
Can I tell a quick funny story here?
Yes, please.
Do we have time? So I was at a high school basketball game a few weeks ago, and who should be there but Teddy Bruschi?
Bruschi was at a high school basketball game?
Watching his kid play.
Okay.
And so I just so happened to be wearing a Teddy Bruschi T-shirt, like under my sweatshirt. So I thought about, like, do I do the reveal just across and like point at him and be like, thumbs up kind of thing? Or do I go up to him afterwards and be like, hey, I just want to say I'm an idiot, make a fool of myself, but I didn't do anything. But
why didn't you do it?
I know, I should have.
Wait, hold on. Why didn't you do it?
T-shirt?
You got to go up to him. You don't think he'd be happy? You're not interfering with the game. You're not making his life miserable. You go up like with Teddy Bruschi wouldn't want to see the fact that super fans like yourself,
I know,
a man who's actually older than him.
I know, and I'd be like...
Coming up to me like, hey, man, that's younger than me. I'm wearing this shirt.
I know, exactly. I'm like, hey, remember the time you answered one of my questions on that ESPN chat?
It's like in Ted 2. Yeah, and just sign it Tom Brady TB12. You're not a cheater.
But it's so true. Like, you feel like you have such a sense of shared experience with these guys, and then you go to talk to them, and you're like, I'm an idiot. You don't care. You don't care at all.
What do you think about... so someone wanted to know, Justin Coleman just got some crazy money. Now there's one of the times where the Pats let someone go early because they only got a 7th when they shipped him out to Seattle a couple years ago, right? Turns out to be a great slot corner. 4 for 36 for a slot cornerback. That makes you think that, like, being able to hold on to Jonathan Joseph for one more year at 3 is great. And also, how great is it going to be to have Duke Dawson with J.C. Jackson emerging as a great outside number 2?
Yeah, well, they've had such a, like, embarrassment of riches at cornerback, and you throw J.C. Jackson in there and Keon Crossan playing the whole season. So, I mean, they've really drafted and developed well there. And then, to sign Gilmore, that was just such a coup. I mean, now he's like,
Guy's been worth 3 times the money.
Which you talk about, like,
biggest
history.
Fans right here. Never criticized him once. Never off.
We were right on board from day one.
From day one. Didn't say a thing otherwise. Never.
I mean, but that was a couple years ago. That's what we were going through right now, where it was all of a sudden the Patriots, this is usually right now what the Patriots usually do. Nothing. Right. They sit and they wait it out. And that year it was like, boom, they're on Gilmore right out of the gate. It was crazy, but that move has paid off. And and ever since the secondary has been in place and since 2014, we've seen the result. They go to the Super Bowl almost every year. So you got to maintain that. It's just, there's going to be some rebuilding up front.
Yeah, it's going to happen. Look, the Pats, they'll find someone. If they can get Josh Gordon. I don't know when the hell the NFL is going to decide on what his punishment's going to be, what sort of suspension he'll have to deal with going into next season. He already had to miss the end of the season and the postseason, which I think was adequate punishment. If he's got his life straight, I know he's got a zero tolerance policy heading in.
Yeah.
If the Pats can get him back, considering they put the restricted free second round tender on him, that would be huge.
Yeah.
And then all they really have to worry about is just getting one other guy, and they got, like I said, 12 picks, and Honey Nut Barrios coming back.
Yeah,
again.
I'm so curious about Hogan. Like, that seems like
apparently
such a,
there's been dialogue.
Like, would you be interested in him as an external team based on like everything you know about the Patriots? How there's how he kind of had a down year last year a little bit. I mean, I think he's a versatile inside outside kind of a guy, but I can't quite put my finger on how they're going to value him. And mostly I think they're going to let him walk.
All right. Yes, Gordon is still under contract, guys. So if someone wants to sign him away,
second round pick. Yeah.
Yep, the Pats would get a second round pick in return. And as far as I'm concerned, in 2019 and 2020. I think it's like 4 this year and 5 next year already.
Yeah.
Everyone can eat a bag of compensatory picks because the Patriots are loaded in the middle of the round, which is where Belichick loves to build his team. Peter Karlstrom asks, how about Tyrell Williams? Big guy, has trouble staying on the field, can't make the club if you in the tub.
Yeah.
And I think he's going to get more money just because of some of those big games he would have with the Chargers.
It's like, are you an underperforming first-round pick with an injury history? Then come to New England and take a 1-year prove-it deal. And...
I know, we should make an ad like that, like a sandal-style vacation ad. Like, are you looking to make big... Like, look at Trent Brown. He should be given like half his first-year salary to Belichick and Dante Scarnecchia. Look what happens. The Patriot effect. You come in for a year. Aqib Talib.
Oh,
he's in the garbage. He's
Akeem Hicks.
He's down there in Tampa Bay.
Akeem Hicks.
Look at all these guys. They come in and they do.
And there's a long list of guys who signed and that did nothing too. You know, a lot of those guys too. That and that's what you run the risk of.
But dude, you can even be tattooed human garbage like Cassius Marsh, and you can get released and go get wildly overpaid in San Francisco.
Right.
So all there needs to be is some Patriot cologne or a little Belichick effect. Yeah,
it always works.
Or you just have to wear the scar of playing on that line, and you get paid.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't everyone be lining up to go play for the Pets? Just even for 1 year. That's all I want.
It's hard. It's hard.
That's right. It's hard work. Eric Ebron said, "Don't want one of that fun. No one wants to go up there with that no fun, right?"
I mean, I thought it was kind of discussed online a little bit this week. It's like you can't fault guys that just want to get paid. I mean, this is their one chance, and not everybody has that kind of. Hey, I want to go deal with this craziness, and
it's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work, and
that's what Dwayne Allen said.
Expectations, and it's some guys come in for years, see what it's like, and then they move on, and they take those lessons. Maybe they apply them, maybe they don't. But
are you getting worked up? Are you getting kind of emotional? I know it's been a big year. I mean, 6 Super Bowls and all. I mean, when you're just surrounded by these, the magnetic effect, I can get it. It screws with your emotions. I get
look
it.
At that thing.
Look at this thing. Oh, look at that.
Look good. Here, we could do we could get like a close up.
Wait, let me get my Viv Brady picture.
No, yeah.
Ready? Get that right.
Oh yeah, there it is. Wait, that way. Oh wait, kinda. Oh, there it is. There it is.
That was the greatest picture ever.
The photographer got it so clear, and now that I've tried to do it myself, it's actually quite difficult
mean like
to get it lined up.
We have 5 iPads and iPhones no, wait. Now I'm transfixed by watching it live. No, I want to watch it live.
There we go.
That makes for great. It's like people reading on the radio. Like that makes for great radio. Look at this. Look at what we can do. Look at this technology. I want you to know that everything that you're watching right now on the first episode of the 2019 season of Pat Show, live from I Love Boston Sports.
Formerly known as Pat Show.
Oh, S word. Foxboro and Friends. Oh, yeah, look, there it is. It worked. This is all being done on iPhones and iPads. We're using Switcher Studio technology. You, too, for a whopping $40 a month and a couple of pieces of discarded technology, can set up your own television studio in a sports retail store at a shopping mall where your mom used to work in your hometown. How about that, huh?
I made it, Mom!
That's right, I made it, Mom. And like I said at the top of the show, there is now a GoPro for your wiener, so you can act that. The Bro Pro, the cock cam.
We're having fun.
I know.
That's
the important part.
Store, we just start putting stuff on.
Lane Johnson said there ain't nobody having fun up there in Foxboro. Dwayne Allen said on Sirius satellite radio as opposed to Sirius not satellite radio. He said it's fun because of the brotherhood. It's fun because of the winning. It's fun because of the hard work.
Yeah.
They do things the right way up there. And he's going to try to bring that culture down to Miami.
Good luck. Many have tried. Many have failed.
So all right. So before we wrap things up. Dan Roach from WBZ TV4 had a great piece of Tweetia. That's what we call our tweets and media. We share with you here on Foxboro and Friends. As everyone continues to go into their off-season free agency panic, that would be panic. Oh no, the Patriots haven't signed anyone. What are they doing? Letting Flowers go? Let Trent Brown go? They missed out on Dola again. Blah blah blah. This is your off-season schedule. It begins now with the panic, and then people wonder what the hell Belichick's doing. Making trades during the draft, passing on this guy and that guy. There'll be a couple of key injuries. Everyone's going to say this is the end of the dynasty, and it's time for insert name of the other team from the AFC East here. And then by week 9, they turn on the Jets, and we'll see at the parade, right?
Yeah, that's how you draw it up, right? I mean, at this point, well, it's like, I felt like I was kind of in this fan malaise after 6, and I was like, wow, like they did 3, and then they got 3 again, and it just feels so perfect. And then I was talking to a guy yesterday, and he was so fired up about number 7 already, and like, we're already here, we've come this far, like no one's gotten that much better, like we got to get 7. Like he was like, he wanted 7, like
up?
we
That's
wanted
my
1.
guy.
I was like, I wasn't
Hell
even
yeah.
in it, and I'm like, let's go, because I mean the
I hope you screamed "Let's go" in the middle of the street.
That's what I told him. I was actually on the radio, and I'm like, you know what? I wasn't even thinking about it, but
Let's go.
It's like they're right. The league's still ripe for the picking, and number 7 is right there. So I'm excited, and it's been a quiet start, but they'll pick up the pace. They'll make some moves. There's always trades. You just look at the free agents who are dangling. You're like trying to match them, but you don't know. There's guys like Trent Brown. They all of a sudden you're like, well, he wasn't on my radar, and they traded for him.
Nobody had even heard, like I said,
Those
it
kind of
was
moves.
Who's Trent Brown a year ago, and now it's who's Trent Brown, the highest
Can
paid
he play
offensive
left
lineman.
tackle though?
Yeah,
it's like, well,
Isaiah
now
Wynn,
he's the
he's a
highest
little
paid
small.
left tackle in
he's
history.
not the size of Trent Brown. Like he was the highest rated left tackle in the SEC in all of college football in 2017, and he played against teams like Alabama and Auburn and South Carolina. He played in the SEC. He can play. If that Achilles heals up right, he can play.
That is the caveat. It was just a significant injury. Like,
Yeah,
it's like only second to like the ACL
Right.
of like, whoa.
Are we actually here explaining this?
Yeah.
I mean, who is it who tweeted out
It's
earlier?
okay, guys. Don't
Evan
panic.
Lazar. Evan Lazar, right?
Oh, yeah,
What was his tweet earlier?
we got one of him too.
Rock solid one, too.
Are we really doing this? Like it was one of those apoplectic.
Guys, seriously. Are we really doing this? Are we doing this again? Did winning a 6th Super Bowl when nobody even saw them possibly making it past the friggin' wild card weekend, is this actually happening? And you know what?
No.
For some
I'm not
people
gonna
it
let it
is,
happen.
but I don't think enough for it to matter.
I don't talk anyone off the ledge anymore. I'm like, and people
That's
are
their
freaking
job.
out, and I'm just like, yeah, I don't know, man. It's gonna, yeah, it's how some people enjoy sports. So
Right.
I let them do that. But it's just fun, and it's gonna be fun. There's gonna be so many opportunities, new guys coming in. It's gonna be a new twist again, and
Right.
I'm
Just enough new blood. So
keep it fresh,
I think Gronk's coming back. You got Belichick in place. Kraft has made the offseason fabulously interesting already. Brady's going to be around for another couple of years. And then, Edelman, he's still got plenty of gas left in the tank. And there'll be a couple new parts, like Isaiah Wynn there. And maybe like we talked about earlier, Dietrich Wise, maybe they draft his brother too.
Oh, yeah.
And
He's a
Derek
good
Rivers.
fit.
You got
Yeah.
the safeties all maybe playing for their final season, so they're going to have to get some new blood at safety as well.
Yeah.
Think about what a value Patrick Chung is with box safeties like Landon Collins getting $14 million elsewhere.
Crazy.
And he's only getting a
that's-
couple mil, and he kicks ass still. And broke
3
his arm in the
Super
Super Bowl
Bowls.
and would have played through it like Rodney Harrison if he could have. There's going to be a ton of fun. I think the most fun way for the 2019 Pats to get after it is, so what do we got right now? You got one Hollister, you got to bring the other one back. You got 2. You bring the other McCourty back.
Oh, yeah.
You got 2. I want 2
Wonder
McCourtys,
Twins.
2 Hollisters,
2 Wises.
I get Martellus Bennett to join Michael. Then we got to sign another Gronk, and we already have 2 Belichicks, and we just make the 2019 Patriots the full-blown
Bros.
Foxboro family affair. How about that?
I'm all for
Family style.
affairs. I mean, and all those guys make sense.
Right?
All those guys make sense to bring them in. I'd love to have Martellus Bennett back. I don't think that's gonna happen. I think that was just kind of
Really? But they said they always wanted to play together. Come on.
I don't know. I mean, I would love it. I'm not against. I don't know. I just feel like
Getting the band back together,
it was
Marty
kind of
Soros,
like
come
him
on.
being like, maybe I'll come out of retirement, and then it's like, well,
Jason Witten did it.
I mean, he's been living the retirement life to the fullest, and
Yeah, but man, fresh legs. You take that year off.
Maybe I would
have a little gas left in the
I would
tank.
not complain. I mean, I think like Martellus Bennett had such a. I didn't think he was going to really fit. Like he just seemed kind of like fruity. He's kind of like space cadet guy, and he fit in so well. Like I mean, everybody loved him. Now it's almost like he just has open door policy. If he wanted to come back, like no one would question that and be like, "Of course, Martell." I mean, he was such a great personality around the team. I just enjoyed him.
And he loved us. He called us the massholes. Said he was going to miss us massholes so
him
much.
doing the cheerleader thing.
Oh, it was
and,
great.
all that. It was awesome. So there's plenty of moves to come, and I mean, Revis. That happened a little later in free agency too, didn't it? I mean, those things, those kind of deals take some time, and I know the Patriots, they like to let the big pieces go. The big pieces know they're going to go, and they let them go, and now is when they start to, all right. But I think the Brady thing, you got to get, Brady contract and Gronk contract.
Right.
Get that stuff.
Bring
kinda
Gronk
squared
back
away.
in, sign Brady. If you just get the 2 of them in place for the season, that's 10 wins already.
Oh, yeah.
Right off the top.
just
That's the
Brady
AFC
and
East.
Edelman.
It's hat and T-shirt day if you make sure Edelman's healthy, rework the Brady deal, and get Gronk back for one more year.
Just do it. Let's do
Happy
it.
birthday, Donta Hightower, and thank you for joining us for the first episode of the 2019 season of Foxboro and Friends, the pre-agency edition, coming to you from I Love Boston Sports at the South Shore Plaza in Braintree. Once again, for the finest in fan wear your emotions on your sleeve, visit ilovebostonsports.com. For the latest in free agency news, finalysis, inappropriate insight, and so much more, patspropaganda.com and that's this. Bingo. It's been a long show. I haven't seen a beverage. You know, in the rider and the contract with the sponsorship, there was to be a beverage card.
You can't drink out of the
There was a
Lombardi.
massage break.
That's
I know.
only
Wouldn't that
the- only
actually?
the
I know.
Stanley
You
Cup.
can't drink out. Wouldn't that be great though? That's it.
Figured out.
Somebody has to make. I'm going to talk to Marlon and the guys here. They need to make one where you can cut it and just like flip it, or like a Lombardi, like a hamburger phone.
Or just like a little
but
ice
keep
luge.
one
You
beer
could do
right
an ice
there.
luge right through the middle.
Oh my
too,
god, a
you know,
shot,
like,
a little shot luge right out of the old VLT.
Look at us.
That would be great. At Pat's Propaganda on the tweet box.
Yeah.
Your old pal Fitz is at Fitzy GFY. I think
That's it. Well, let's enjoy the off season. We'll be back soon, next
Right.
couple weeks or so, at some point. But
Right.
It's great.
Do we have any more tamper jokes before we go?
Oh no, I'm gonna tamper. No,
Nope.
I
All
got
right. Good enough.
No.
All right. Thanks for joining us, guys. Keep the questions coming, and we will talk to you soon. LFG.
LFG.